Hello family, before we start this intriguing story, we would like you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified once we drop new story. Also comment the time you are watching this and country you are watching from. The sun shone brightly over Umuoma, a peaceful town filled with laughter and joy. In the heart of this town lived two inseparable girls, Ekpoma and Achalugo. From the moment they could walk, they did everything together, playing in the sand, fetching water from the stream, and even getting into trouble for sneaking mangoes from Mama Nkechi's tree. Ekpoma, run. Mama Nkechi is coming. Achalugo whispered as they picked mangoes. Ekpoma laughed. I'm not afraid. She will only shout and chase us away. Just as they turned to run, Mama Nkechi's voice rang out. You two again. Come back here. The girls burst into laughter as they ran, their bare feet kicking up dust. They were not just best friends, they were more like sisters. As they grew older, their friendship remained strong. They attended the same primary school and later, the same secondary school. Ekpoma was brilliant, always coming first in class, while Achalugo was also smart but never outshone Ekpoma. You will be a great doctor one day, Achalugo told her one evening as they studied in their dormitory. Ekpoma smiled. And you will be a great lawyer. There was no jealousy between them. They celebrated each other's victories and wiped each other's tears in times of failure. When it was time for university, they both gained admission into a prestigious school. Their joy knew no bounds. After university, Ekpoma got a job at a big oil company. She was not selfish, she helped Achalugo secure a position at the same company. They shared clothes, secrets, and dreams. It seemed like nothing could break their bond. One day, Ekpoma received a promotion. The company sent her abroad for training, and she returned with gifts for Achalugo. See the beautiful dress I bought for you. Ekpoma said excitedly. Achalugo forced a smile. Thank you, my sister. But deep inside, something bitter began to grow. More people admired Ekpoma. Suitors came from left and right, seeking her hand in marriage. That was when Achalugo's heart began to change. One evening, Ekpoma borrowed Achalugo's shoes to attend a party. That simple request would change their lives forever. Be careful with my shoes, Achalugo said, hiding her frown. I will, my dear. Thank you. Ekpoma smiled, unaware of the storm that was about to begin. That night, something strange happened. Ekpoma suddenly fell ill. She was rushed to the hospital, but the doctors found nothing wrong. A once vibrant woman, full of life, now lay weak and helpless. Then, whispers began, people accused her of stealing money from the company. Shocked and confused, Ekpoma lost everything, her job, her reputation, and her strength. And in the shadows, Achalugo watched, her heart pounding with guilt. Why did Ekpoma fall sick so suddenly? Who was behind the accusations against her? And will their friendship survive this storm? Ekpoma sat on the hospital bed, her once bright eyes now dull and tired. The whispers about her spread like wildfire. Her colleagues avoided her, and her boss refused to listen to her explanations. I swear, I did not steal any money, she pleaded during a meeting with the company executives. We have proof against you, her boss said coldly. You are fired. Tears streamed down Ekpoma's face as she walked out of the office, her world crumbling. She had lost everything, her job, her dignity, and her strength. Meanwhile, Achalugo sat in her apartment, staring at her hands. She had done nothing to cause Ekpoma's downfall directly, but she could not deny the jealousy that had poisoned her heart. She always had everything, Achalugo muttered. The good grades, the promotions, the suitors. But now, Ekpoma had nothing. And instead of feeling victorious, Achalugo felt a deep, painful guilt. Desperate to understand her sudden misfortunes, Ekpoma returned to her village. Her mother wept at the sight of her frail daughter. My child, who did this to you? Her mother asked. I don't know, Mama. Everything fell apart, Ekpoma whispered. That night, an old man visited their compound. He looked at Ekpoma and shook his head. Someone close to you carries a bitter heart. Until the truth is revealed, your suffering will not end. Ekpoma's heart pounded. Someone close to her. Who could it be? The next day, Achalugo traveled to the village to see Ekpoma. Seeing her best friend so weak broke her heart. Ekpoma, I need to tell you something, Achalugo said, her voice shaking. Ekpoma looked at her, confused. What is it? Achalugo took a deep breath. I have been jealous of you. I never wished you harm, but my heart was filled with envy. Silence filled the air. Ekpoma stared at her best friend, pain and shock in her eyes. Ekpoma sat under the large mango tree in her family compound, her once radiant skin now pale and dull. She could barely hold a spoon without her hands trembling. Her mother, Mama Ejima, watched her daughter with sorrow in her eyes. My child, I don't understand what is happening to you, Mama Ejima said, pressing a cool cloth to Ekpoma's forehead. Since you returned, you have been getting weaker. I don't understand either, Mama, Ekpoma whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. It all happened so fast, my sickness, my job, the accusations, and now, Achalugo's confession. Mama Ejima sighed. Jealousy is a dangerous thing, my daughter. It starts as a small seed and grows into a tree of destruction. Ekpoma's mind replayed Achalugo's words from the previous day. I have been jealous of you, but I never wished you harm. Could jealousy alone have caused this disaster? Back in the city, Achalugo couldn't sleep. Guilt consumed her. She had never imagined her silent envy would turn into something so destructive. Unable to bear it any longer, she decided to visit a herbalist for answers. The herbalist's hut was deep in the forest, filled with the scent of burning herbs and ancient powders. The old man, his eyes clouded with wisdom, stared at Achalugo as she entered. What do you seek? He asked in a deep voice. Achalugo hesitated. I think I have hurt someone without meaning to. I need to know if I am responsible. The herbalist threw some cowries on the ground and studied them closely. Then, he looked at Achalugo with piercing eyes. Your heart carried jealousy, but another hand carried out the evil. Your envy opened the door, but someone else walked through it. Achalugo gasped. What do you mean? There is another, the herbalist said. Someone who wanted Ekpoma destroyed. And that person used your silent jealousy as a weapon. Achalugo's mind raced. If she wasn't the one who caused Ekpoma's downfall, then who did? Meanwhile, in a large office in the city, a woman named Madame Bo sat with a sly smile on her lips. She was the manager at Ekpoma's former workplace, the one who had orchestrated the accusations against her. She thought she was untouchable, Madame Bo muttered, sipping her tea. Now, she is gone, and I have her position. Madame Bo had always disliked Ekpoma's intelligence and hard work. When she noticed Achalugo's growing jealousy, she saw the perfect opportunity to strike. It was she who had stolen money from the company and framed Ekpoma. It was she who had spread the rumors and ensured that Ekpoma had no way to defend herself. And now, she had won. Achalugo left the herbalist's hut with a pounding heart. She had to find out who had truly harmed Ekpoma. She could not live with this guilt anymore. She traveled back to Umuoma and found Ekpoma resting in the compound. Ekpoma, I have something to tell you, Achalugo said, kneeling before her friend. I went to see a herbalist. Ekpoma frowned. A herbalist? Yes, Achalugo admitted. I thought I was the one who caused your suffering, but he told me that someone else is behind it. Ekpoma's tired eyes widened. Someone else. Achalugo nodded. We have to find out who. I want to make things right. For the first time in weeks, hope flickered in Ekpoma's heart. Who is truly behind Ekpoma's downfall? Will she find justice? And can Achalugo redeem herself before it's too late? Achalugo's confession weighed heavily on her heart, but it was only part of the truth. The guilt of her envy had consumed her, but there was more to Ekpoma's downfall than she had admitted. There was something darker, something she had done in secret. Late at night, Achalugo sat in her room, staring at a small bottle of dark liquid she had hidden beneath her bed. The memory of her visit to the herbalist months ago haunted her. "She is always ahead of me," Achalugo had told the old herbalist, her voice trembling with frustration. "I don't want to harm her, just make her weaker. I want her to need me." The herbalist had nodded knowingly. "Give her this potion, and she will be humbled. But beware, jealousy is a dangerous fire." Achalugo had slipped the potion into Ekpoma's drink one evening, expecting nothing more than mild sickness. She had not foreseen the devastation it would bring. Now, Ekpoma lay weak and abandoned, and Achalugo's heart was burdened with guilt. She had to fix this. But how? Meanwhile, Ekpoma sat under the large mango tree in her family compound, staring at the vast sky. Her body was weak, but her spirit refused to break. "Mama, I will not accept defeat," she said softly as her mother sat beside her. "My child, the elders say someone close to you carries bitterness. Have you thought about who it might be?" Ekpoma hesitated. Achalugo's confession replayed in her mind. Could it really be her best friend? And if so, had she done more than just envy her? Her thoughts were interrupted when a stranger arrived at the compound, an old woman with wise eyes. "My daughter," the woman said, "your sickness is not of the body but of the spirit. Someone has cast a shadow over your life. But the truth has a way of revealing itself." Ekpoma's heart pounded. The truth. Was she ready to hear it? That night, Achalugo tossed and turned in bed. She knew she had to tell Ekpoma the whole truth. Unable to sleep, she made her way to Ekpoma's house before dawn. "Ekpoma," she whispered, shaking her gently. Ekpoma opened her eyes, weary but alert. "Achalugo. What is it?" Tears filled Achalugo's eyes. "I need to tell you everything. I went to a herbalist. I gave you something to weaken you. I thought it would just make you less perfect, less better than me. I never meant for it to go this far." Silence fell between them. Ekpoma's heart ached, but instead of anger, she felt sadness. "I trusted you," she whispered, pain in her voice. "You were my sister." "I was foolish," Achalugo sobbed. "Please, forgive me. I would do anything to make this right." Ekpoma took a deep breath. Forgiveness was not easy, but hatred would only destroy them both. "I don't know if I can ever trust you again," she said slowly. "But I don't want to carry hate in my heart." Achalugo fell to her knees, weeping. "I will fix this. I will go back to the herbalist. I will do whatever it takes." The next morning, Achalugo set out on a journey back to the herbalist's hut, determined to undo what she had done. But would the herbalist agree to help? Or had Achalugo unleashed something that could not be reversed? Will Achalugo's quest to fix her mistake succeed? Will Ekpoma regain her strength? And what greater dangers lie ahead? The truth is revealed, but the story is far from over. Months passed, and Ekpoma slowly rebuilt her life. With her mother's prayers and support, she found the strength to move on. One day, she received a call from an oil company in Lagos offering her a managerial position. Joy filled her heart as she packed her bags and left Umuoma for a fresh start. In Lagos, she quickly adapted to her new job, earning admiration for her intelligence and dedication. It wasn't long before she caught the eye of Uba, a wealthy and kind-hearted businessman. Unlike others, Uba was patient and genuinely interested in her happiness. Slowly, he wormed his way into Ekpoma's heart. Back in Umuoma, Achalugo struggled with the weight of her actions. Her business was failing, and sickness clung to her body like a shadow. She heard of Ekpoma's new job and her growing relationship with Uba, and instead of feeling happy, jealousy consumed her once again. "She has everything, and I have nothing," she muttered bitterly. "It's not fair." Desperate and angry, she decided to take matters into her own hands. If she couldn't have happiness, neither would Ekpoma. Achalugo sought out a group of dangerous men and paid them to kidnap Ekpoma. "Make sure she disappears," she instructed coldly, her heart hardened by jealousy. The kidnappers tracked Ekpoma's movements and struck one evening when she was returning from work. They grabbed her, tied her up, and threw her into a dark, abandoned building. Ekpoma trembled. "Who sent you?" she asked, trying to remain calm. The leader of the group smirked. "You must have powerful enemies." As the men discussed what to do next, one of them recognized Ekpoma. "I know this woman. She once helped my mother when she was sick. She paid for her medicine." The other men hesitated. "She helped my brother get a job," another added. Guilt spread among them, and they turned to their leader. "We can't harm her." Instead of harming Ekpoma, the kidnappers untied her and gave her water. "We were paid to do this," one of them admitted. "But we can't go through with it." Ekpoma's heart pounded. "Who sent you?" The leader sighed. "Your so-called best friend, Achalugo." Tears welled in Ekpoma's eyes. She could hardly believe that Achalugo, whom she had forgiven, would go this far. The men returned her safely to her home and disappeared into the night. Without wasting time, Ekpoma reported the incident to the police. Achalugo was arrested the next day, shocked and trembling as the officers took her away. What will happen to Achalugo? Will Ekpoma find peace after this betrayal? And what lesson does this story hold for us all? Achalugo sat in the dark, damp prison cell, her once proud face now filled with regret. The sound of iron bars clanging shut echoed in her ears, a reminder of her actions. She had lost everything, her freedom, her dignity, and the only true friend she had ever known. In court, the judge's voice was stern. "Achalugo, you have been found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. You are sentenced to 10 years in prison." Tears streamed down Achalugo's face as she realized the full weight of her jealousy. She looked at Ekpoma, who stood in the courtroom, her face filled not with hatred but with sorrow. "I am sorry," Achalugo whispered, but her words were lost in the chaos of the courtroom. Life moved on, and Ekpoma embraced her future with hope. Uba stood beside her, his love and support helping her heal from the wounds of betrayal. One evening, under the soft glow of lanterns, Uba knelt before Ekpoma, holding a small velvet box. "Ekpoma, will you marry me?" Tears filled Ekpoma's eyes, but this time, they were tears of joy. "Yes," she whispered. Their wedding was a grand celebration, filled with love and laughter. Friends and family gathered to witness the union, and for the first time in a long while, Ekpoma felt at peace. She had lost a friend but gained a new family. Meanwhile, in prison, Achalugo's health deteriorated. The guilt of her actions ate away at her, and her body weakened. One night, she collapsed in her cell, clutching her chest. The prison doctor shook his head. "Her heart is failing." Despite her crimes, Ekpoma's heart ached when she heard the news. She visited Achalugo in prison, seeing her once vibrant friend reduced to a shadow of herself. "Why did you do it?" Ekpoma asked softly, her voice filled with pain. Achalugo struggled to speak. "Jealousy, it consumed me." She coughed weakly. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." Ekpoma took her hand. "But I forgive you, Achalugo." Tears rolled down Achalugo's face. She had spent years fighting against Ekpoma, only to realize too late that she had destroyed herself. That night, she took her last breath, leaving behind a lesson that would never be forgotten. Standing by Achalugo's grave, Ekpoma whispered a prayer. Jealousy is a poison that destroys from within. If only she had seen that earlier. She turned to Uba, holding his hand tightly. But forgiveness brings peace. The story of Ekpoma and Achalugo spread across the town, serving as a warning to many. Some cried, some reflected, and some changed their ways. Jealousy leads to destruction, but a heart that forgives finds peace. Let us learn to celebrate the success of others and embrace love over envy, for in the end, only kindness and forgiveness can truly set us free. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this.